हे गाइस, आज की क्लास में हम पढ़ेंगे अ डॉक्टर जर्नल एंट्री फॉर अगस्त 6 1945 पोएम की समरी मैं आप लोगों के लिए लेकर आई हूँ। ये पोएम जो है विक्रम सेठ ने लिखी है। विक्रम सेठ's poem A Doctor's Journal Entry for August 6, 1945 is a powerful and poignant recounting of the aftermath of the atomic bombing of Hiroshima through the eyes of a doctor who survived the initial blast. Written in the form of a journal entry, the poem vividly portrays the physical and emotional toll of the catastrophic event on the narrator and the people around him, beginning with the calm before the catastrophe. The poem begins with a serene and peaceful morning. The narrator describes the beauty of nature with shimmering leaves and shadows, setting a tranquil scene. This calmness is symbolic of the fragile and fleeting normalcy of life before the disaster. The doctor, half clad, is enjoying this ordinary moment, which makes the sudden devastation even more jarring. This tranquility is abruptly shattered by a blinding flash of light that startles the narrator. The bright light, compared to magnesium flares, signals the arrival of the atomic bomb. The flash is described as sudden and overwhelming, symbolizing the abrupt end of normal life. The use of the flash as a motif highlights the irreversible change brought about by the bombing. Destruction unleashed. The physical and emotional impact. The narrator describes the catastrophic destruction that follows. The roof and walls of his house collapse, debris and dust swirl around him, and everything he knows is reduced to rubble. The narrator himself is injured. His body bears the marks of the disaster. A splinter juts out of his mangled thigh, his cheek is torn, and a shard of glass is lodged in his body. These vivid images of physical harm are emblematic of the larger destruction wrought upon Hiroshima and its inhabitants. As the narrator assesses his surroundings, he finds himself in his garden, stripped of his clothes and exposed to the chaos around him. This raw exposure, both physical and symbolic, reflects the vulnerability and helplessness of humanity in the face of such unprecedented destruction. Search for loved ones amidst chaos. Amid the devastation, the narrator's thoughts turn to his wife, Yeko Sen. He calls out for her in desperation, his voice filled with panic and fear. His concern for her highlights the deep emotional connections that persist even amidst unimaginable chaos. When Yeko-san appears pale and blood-stained, the narrator finds a moment of solace. Even as she embodies the trauma and suffering of the event, the couple clings to each other, seeking comfort and strength. Despite their injuries and fear, they decide to leave their home and seek safety. The narrator's reassurance to Yeko-san, "We'll be fine," is both poignant and ironic, as it reflects the fragility of hope in the face of overwhelming despair. Witnessing horror and human suffering. As the narrator and his wife stumble through the streets, they encounter scenes of unspeakable horror. The city, once vibrant, is now a desolate landscape filled with ghostly figures. Survivors move like shadows, their forms distorted by burns and injuries. The narrator describes their arms stretched out, shoulder to dangling hand, as if frozen in pain and horror. This haunting imagery conveys the magnitude of human suffering and the lasting impact of the bomb. The narrator and his wife trip over something only to realize it is a severed head. This moment is a stark reminder of the sheer destruction of human life. The dismembered body parts scattered across the city symbolize the brutal and dishumanizing nature of war. Physical and emotional exhaustion. The narrator's own body begins to give way under the strain of injuries and exhaustion. He feels thirst but finds no water to quench it. His breath becomes short and he collapses to the ground, overwhelmed by the physical and emotional toll of the event. Despite this, he forces himself to rise, driven by a sense of duty to help others. This resilience, despite overwhelming odds, is a recurring theme in the poem. The narrator's determination to aid others, even as he struggles with his own injuries and trauma, highlights the indomitable human spirit. A moment of connection and humanity. In the midst of the chaos, the narrator encounters a soldier who silently offers him a towel. This simple act of kindness and solidarity stands out amidst the destruction, symbolizing the shared humanity of the survivors. The soldier's silence mirrors the narrator's own speechlessness as words fail to capture the magnitude of their shared suffering. The narrator reflects on the trauma he has endured. He feels stripped not only of his clothes but also of his dignity and humanity. Yet he finds a sense of purpose in helping his staff and others, even as he grapples with the enormity of the tragedy. The absurdity and horror of war. As the poem progresses, the narrator reflects on the absurdity of war and its devastating consequences. The atomic bomb, a symbol of technological advancement, is juxtaposed with the immense suffering it causes. The narrator questions the morality of such destruction and laments the loss of innocent lives. The poem ends on a somber note, with the narrator continuing to witness and endure the horrors of the bombing. The friction of burns and injuries, both his own and those of others, becomes a metaphor for the lasting pain inflicted by the bomb. The narrator's experiences serve as a testament to the resilience of the human spirit, but also as a stark reminder of the horrors of war.